Alrighty, so this next little bit that we're going to talk about, guys, is a few little embellishment ideas just to make a piece of music just a little bit more interesting. So I've got Sadie here who's going to do some singing with me just so I can give a little bit of context to what I'm doing. Okay, so first thing we'll just do a verse and chorus and then I'll break down some of the ideas that I'm doing. Okay? You want to count me in?
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo, so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough.
So, whenever we have a piece of music where we've got basically a bunch of just basic chords or whatever, there's a lot of different things that we can do to make that a bit more interesting. So, for the first thing, so for you guys who are a little bit more advanced and have started looking into your minor 7, major 7, dominant 7 chords, first thing we can do is actually substitute those chords in rather than just playing the basic triad chords. So, for example, first chord is A minor. But to create a little bit more interest, what we can do is just go to our A minor 7 chord and just get a little bit more color in there. Okay? Same thing when we go to the C major. I mean, we could play a normal C major chord there, but I really like going to a C major 7 chord because it just has a little bit more color, a little bit more context. Okay? And obviously with the F major, we're doing an F major 7. And one extra thing, so with an E major chord, there's two things I like to do with this one. So we can just stick to a basic E major chord, but one thing I really like to do is put a sus voicing in front of it first. So this chord voicing that I'm playing is an E sus 4. And pretty much all you have to do to get this particular voicing is take your normal E major chord, and instead of holding down the 1st fret, hold down the 2nd fret on your 3rd string. Okay? So all up, if I played just that, it'll sound something like this. So already, without doing anything too, crazy, we've got a little bit more interest in what we're doing rather than just doing the basic triads. Now, one extra thing we can do just from a purely chord perspective is just with an E major chord, rather than doing just a planned E major, we can actually turn that into an E dominant 7, which gives us a nice little pull towards the A minor. So for some of you who are a bit more advanced, you may have heard some of us talk about this idea of a 5 to the 1 chord. So in the key of A, if we count up from A, B, C, D, E, E is the 5th of A minor. And dominant chords are really great to use to bring us back to that 1 chord, because they just have an extra layer of tension that other chords generally don't have. Now, on top of that, you may have noticed that I was doing a few little melodies while I was doing the chords as well. So for example, on the A minor chord, basically all I'm doing there is I'm adding a G on my 1st string, E string, okay? So I'm just playing a G, and what I like to do there is I like to think about what the singer's doing and see if I can just play something around that. So whenever I think about chords, I always think about the highest note being a melody line as well, which I can play around with just to create a little bit more interest. Same when I'm going to the C major 7 chord. Now, especially because I don't have my 1st finger on that 1st fret or the 2nd string, I've actually got a little bit of room to play around with to get a little bit of a counter melody. So one thing I like to do here is add the D, which is on the B string, which gives me like this nice little sound. Then go down, play a regular C major chord, and then go to a C major 7. So you get this kind of sound. Okay, and the next thing as well is on the F major 7 chord. Because I've got my pinky free, another really great note to play over the top of that is to add the G. So same thing that we did over the A minor 7, you get this nice little sound. So for those that are a bit more theoretically advanced, that's the nice, because it's always a really nice tone to include on just about everything. Then over the E major, because we've got that E sus, and then to the E dominant, we've already got a bit of a movement going on there. So now that I've explained that a little bit more in depth, we'll do it one more time. We'll just do a verse together. And one thing I want you guys to really think about is when you're doing this sort of thing, always do your best to hear what the singer is doing or whoever's doing the melody, because our role as guitarists is we're there to support whoever is the front line, so usually a singer. So it's great to add in counter melodies and little embellishments and things like that, but always make sure that it's in context. Always make sure it's there to support someone, not to overpower them. So look out for some of the things that I just talked about over just this one verse of Crazy.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. I remember when